Uh-oh, there's 2 cats in the yard. What are we gonna do? Today's video, we are gonna be doing some work outside. We're gonna be messing with these 2 solar panel racks right here. Today's gonna be one of the nicest days. It's gonna be around 75 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a huge improvement over the 90 plus with a crap ton of humidity. All right, so today's task is we are going to remove these 2 solar panel arrays, and we are going to mimic this solar panel array right here, right in line with the cat right there, okay? So last summer, I did auger out some holes underneath here. One right there, there, one right over there somewhere. This hole that's right around here next to the cat, so this one I actually, oh, hello. You want me to point at you? Okay. That hole right over there, when I was augering down, I hit one of my sprinkler lines. I think the one that goes to that corner over there, and I kind of put a big hole in it. So I had to shift this hole over probably 6 or plus inches. So the holes or posts aren't gonna be, they're not gonna be the same as this side, even though this side wasn't particularly perfect either. But anyway, this hole right over here is going to be off-centered, so they're all not 51 inches apart or whatever I did at that time. And then for the distance, I think I went 11 or 12 feet from that post to where this post is going to line up. The main reason I did that is for the wintertime shading with my neighbor's tree right over here. So if I went any further this way, basically where this array is, this whole area is going to be shaded practically the entire day until the sun gets over in that direction, and then it doesn't have much time left anyway. So that's where the array is going to go, and again, it's mainly for wintertime charging. And yes, I'm going to install this solar panel rack exactly like I did the other rack over here. And that is digging a hole 3 feet into the ground and just dropping in the 5-foot posts and then mounting the brackets directly on top, again, which is a no-no. And I had a ton of comments saying that, you know, you should not do this because the wood is going to split and the array is going to fall off. And I agree with that. But it's been up for like 2 years right now, and I don't have any problems with it right now, so I am going to do the exact same thing. However, I did also get one of the recommendations that somebody had was basically putting some strapping around this to kind of keep it all together. Okay, so I did buy some strapping to do that, which is gonna be this strapping right here. Basically, I'll just bend it around the top edge, okay, all the way around, and then screw it down, and that should hopefully keep the top end wherever I mount the base, you know, the mounting base to. Hopefully it won't splinter out, you know, crack or anything like that, and it'll kind of keep it all together. That was one of the other recommendations I could do, so that's what I'm gonna do. And then one of the next comments were making sure that the pressure treated wood here is sealed the entire time by applying a coating, etc. on it. I have not done anything to these ones yet, but I do plan to do that. I just haven't done it, okay? So we'll have to come up with some sort of treatment that we can put on these posts. Speaking of the posts that we'll be using, these are it. These are 6 by 6 by 10 foot long. Basically, I will find the center of them and then cut them in half with the little electric chainsaw, just like I did last time. And finally, we'll be using the bifacial solar panels that I have sitting right back here. Not the broken one, but at least 5 of the other ones sitting right back here. They're the exact same ones that I have right here. These are the Sirius bifacial 415 watt solar panels. All right, so the first step is going to be remove the solar panels from the array. Second step would be removing the top rails. Third step would be removing the triangles from my makeshift wood thing that I have down here. And then the next step would be removing, you know, the wood base. Alrighty, so that's what we got. Where are you going? All right, so that's what we got right now. Let's get to it. We're gonna need these ones, so I'm gonna set these right over here. Say, hey, 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 don't go in the hole, please. Don't go in the hole, please. Hey, if you go in there, that hole goes to China. You don't want to go in there, do you? Oh, you're gonna check out the other hole. Okay, well, please just don't go in the hole, okay? That's all I ask. Don't go in the hole, okay? Catch the bugs though, that's cool. Boom, got everything removed. The only thing that's left sitting here is my little IMO disconnect and the conduit that just goes across the ground and then over there and then into the house, which I will leave for right now. We'll bury it hopefully later today maybe. So there is hole number 1. Hole number 2, this is the one that I hit the sprinkler and I had to move the hole over a little bit, so the sprinkler line is actually right over here. So once I put this post in, I'll dig that out a little bit more so I can repair it. I just didn't want to do it the day that I augered the hole, because I didn't want all that dirt to keep coming back in. So I'll have to fix that today as well. Hole number 3, and as you saw, Beyonce digging around hole number 4. All right, now that we have everything cleared, the next thing we're gonna do is drag over the 6x6 by 10 foot post. Some big bug just ran into the side of my head, and I'm not sure what it was, and it kind of creeped me out. We're gonna drag over the 6x6 by 10 foot post, and we're gonna bring them over here, and I'm gonna cut them in half, and we're gonna drop them straight into the holes, and then we're going to pack in the dirt around them. That's basically what I did with that one over there, and everything seems to be working out fan-freaking-tastic, so I'm just gonna do the exact same thing. And of course, we'll try to level it out and make it all straight, you know, as best as we can. What the center is 10 foot, 1/2 inch. So I need to go 5 foot and a quarter. 5 foot and a quarter. Hey, are you gonna help me or what? I'm gonna need help carrying these. Where are you going? Alrighty then. Bring this over here. These are definitely a lot lighter now that they're cut. Make sure there's no cats down there. No cats. All right, so my holes are definitely not the same depth right now, and that's probably because they've been open for so long. These two right here in the middle are definitely higher, but they were actually kind of open, so some dirt might have actually fallen down back in. Once we get these nice and level and plumb, straight up and down, I'll just cut them off nice and straight. Alrighty, next thing I'm gonna do is find the old clumps of dirt that I dug out and basically fill the hole. And as I'm filling it up, I'm going to pack it down with something. I'll have to find something like a 2x4 or some sort of metal rod, and we'll pack the dirt down as we fill it in. And of course we will straighten the poles up as best as we can. Alrighty, it is actually day 2 now. I was a little sore and tired after leaning over the plumbing that I did yesterday. I'm no spring chicken anymore. Anyway, where I left off yesterday was on the very last post down there. Basically, I was doing the outside 2 first, and then that way I can line up the 2 center ones. And I tied a little string onto this one right here, and I have it resting up against the edge of this one. And on the furthest one down there, now I can bring the other 2 posts in line, you know, with the string right here, so then my post will all be fairly center. The only issue I had with this one right here is whenever I was packing down the dirt, it did rotate the post just a little bit, but I think that'll be just fine. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. Is I'm gonna work on the center 2 posts. Alrighty, here is my sprinkler line that I ran into last time. This is actually the hole that I was digging previously, and then I went directly right into the center of it. And I did put a temporary fix on there whenever I did all this, just so there wasn't like water leaking out of it the entire time. Just a temporary fix. So then of course I had to move the post hole over, a good foot to get away from that. All right, so I'm gonna rip off those hose clamps and whatever else I jimmied on there. I have one of these. I hope I can get that on there. And then a couple more hose clamps, some of this tape right here. And if I have to, a heat gun to soften up the ends so I can get that in there. Now I'll probably put this on a time lapse because I'm definitely going to struggle. Boom, there we go. Temporary fix now turned into a hopefully a more permanent fix. It actually went on a lot easier than what I thought it was going to do. All right, got all 4 posts buried in the ground. Hey, Beyonce, there's some snakes over there, so get them. The next thing, what I could do right now is I could cut all these down so they're nice and equal all the way across, but I'm not gonna do that quite yet. I think what I'm gonna do is dig my little trench that goes from this pole right over here, past the cat, and then to that pole right back over there, because right back here, that's also where I have my little circuit breaker box right here. This is where I have the circuit breaker box right here. I don't know if I'm gonna continue using this or if I'm just gonna use that IMO switch or disconnect right there. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna bury the conduit because I don't have the direct burial PV cable, that I could just directly bury. And that way I can run THH end wire, of course, which is cheaper. And if I ever need to change something, later on, I can pull this wire out or add more wire to it, because I seem to change my mind all the time. So let me get a little trench dug out right here. All right, got my trench dug from this post right over here, all the way over to that post right there. And what is it supposed to be, like 18 inches deep? Yeah, I think we're close to that. Yeah, I think we're exactly 18 inches. Next thing I need to do is pull out the wire, and then we're going to bury that PVC piece of conduit in the trench. I'm just getting this kind of put together. I still haven't decided if I want to keep using this little breaker box that I made because it has the surge suppressor on it, even though these aren't the best. but at least it has something. So that's the only reason I'm using it right now. Now I need to get this guy in there. This is the one that goes over to the other array. There we go. All right, got the little circuit breaker box moved to the side of this post right here. Previously it was on, this side. I just moved it onto this side because this is where I dug the hole for my trench. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is backfill this back in, and then the next thing after that is we are going to hack these off and make sure they're nice and level with one another. Oh, and I did find a little bottle whenever I was digging that little trench, and there's liquid in it. What do you think that is? Is that somebody's moonshine that they made? Their elixir? Is this the elixir for life right here? I don't know, should I drink it? Alrighty, got the trench filled in, and look at that, you can't even tell where it was at. And then the next thing I did was took the chainsaw and basically hacked off the two center ones because those ones were sitting up just a little bit higher. And I would say it's not looking too bad. Height-wise, looks pretty good. And then if we go off to the side, it's fairly straight. They might be off just a little bit, but it's not too bad actually. Next thing we're gonna do is start mounting the bases right over here, the triangle pieces. I'm just gonna copy what I did last time since it seems good enough. I'm just gonna line these up or set them on here and then use the string to try to line them up as best as I can. All right, got all four of the mounting bases on the posts, and I would say they're looking pretty straight. I don't know what the bottom looks like, but should be similar. Yeah, so far, looking pretty good. All right, the next thing we need to do is put the top and bottom rails on, but they're gonna be separated. Just like this array right here, which we could go take a look at on the back. All right, so this is what we're going to be copying. So this one's going to be basically going to be sticking off that edge over there pretty far. So we just need to do like, I don't know, like an inch or so off of this one. And then for this side, I needed to go, I don't know, that's probably 6 to 8 inches. So I had enough room for this panel right here to mount on, so that's what we got to do for this side. And then I will also have to do the modification on this end on whatever rail I throw up there. I think I have it already installed. I don't know, we'll have to see what I have on those rails right there, but I will have to extend this side over here. I guess I'll just have to measure the length of that one over there and mimic that down here. I already have the extensions that you can buy mounted on this side, so I will have to make my own extensions for that side, just like I did with the rack back there. That's no big deal. Hey, buddy.
Sasha, come on.
Gonna need a little helper today.
Sasha, come on. You gonna help me? Let's go. Woohoo!
All right, this is the very next day. Yesterday I was just way too hot to continue, and today's gonna be basically the same. I don't know how far I'm gonna get today because I've only been out here for a couple of minutes. Only thing I've done is carried out my bags of tools, the camera, and the wire, and I'm already sweating like you. Anyway, moving on. Next thing we're gonna do is run our THHN wire underneath the ground over to that little circuit breaker box over there. And I'm also gonna run just a second 12 gauge wire over to this area just in case I'm probably gonna set up another temporary solar array, you know, a little bit further this way, just like I previously had for the summertime, and I just need a way to hook it up. So I'm gonna run an extra wire right here. I got all of my wires ran right here. Of course, I still have to add a piece of PVC conduit up a little bit higher, and that's what this piece right here is. Before it starts getting extremely hot, which it's on the tipping point of that right now, I think what I'm gonna do is start bringing out the solar panels and get those set up on there. And if I do get that far, then I'll have a little tiny bit of shade, and maybe I can work out here just a little bit longer. But of course, I need to move a whole bunch of solar panels real quick. Alrighty, we got all 5 panels up on the rack, and we're at that point of the day, which is not even noon yet. It's so hot and muggy out here that you're sweating so much, your phone starts dialing 911 automatically, which it did. And I didn't even know it. It's looking fan-freaking-tastic so far. It does look pretty good, and I would say we are pretty straight for, you know, for what we got. There is a little bit of a high spot in there, but I think that's just how everything lines up on the posts, you know, because you can't make everything absolutely perfect, especially whenever you're doing the gap like this. So you can fit 5 panels on there because nothing is, you know, rigid here anymore. I guess I could technically put some rail in there if I really needed to, or maybe even some of the unistrut, you know, to make it nice and rigid. But since I've had these on here, it's been on there for, I don't even remember, at least what, a half a year, maybe longer, with 5 panels on it like this, and it's doing great. So I guess we'll do the experiment with this one as well and see how long it goes. And if I need to add something, because this one is obviously a little further away from my house, so it will pick up some more wind, you know, weather, etc., stuff like that, because over here I do have, I mean, it's not underneath the eave, but we're closer to my house. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to mention is with this unistrut right here, or really any unistrut, the bolts or the clamping that comes with it will work just fine. That piece right there, it actually works just like normal. It works just like this side over here in the regular rail. So that's kind of nice. All right, so right over here in that center area is gonna be my high spot. And then down here, I think it's a low spot, or it's a low spot on the other end. Doesn't really matter. Next thing we're going to do, we do need to do a little wiring right here, and I need to make my little tiny extension up into that IMO disconnect. From there, we can start seriesing all of these panels together, and then we're gonna run it through the IMO box, which goes over that little breaker box right there, and then we are going to series in to these panels right here, so it will be a 10S array. All right, I'm gonna actually go inside and get some food and water, and then I'll come back out here and finish up. All right, we're gonna try to finish this off with the Insta360 camera or whatever, just because it's a little easier to move around while it's so freaking hot out here, okay? I accidentally cut the holes on this last time upside down, but we will get that fixed this time. So I need to drill that hole out, wherever my drill went. Where did my drill went? Where is my drill? There it is. This is gonna go in here. Where's my marker? I am definitely not prepared for this. Okay, so what we're gonna be doing next is putting up our little IMO disconnect box. Might as well glue that real quick. Piece. Okay. Okay, just glue this back on. Alright, so I got these straps like other people were mentioning. It'd be cool if I could just use the same screw hole. I wonder if I could. Ooh, I can. And then I'm basically just bringing it around. Something like that. I'll add more screws to that here after a while. I got a ground wire over here, which I can run directly into that. Should probably put a ferrule on these. I need to go at an angle, so 1 and 3 connect to 2 and 4 over here. Now, wires will come from the bottom and go up into it like that. I'm going to pull these wires back out so I can put a ferrule on them. Okay, so now what we need to do real quick is wire all the panels together in series. Put those together. We're going to run the wire up along the frame rails and stuff right up here. And one end's going to go down on this side, around, up inside of there. And basically the same thing for the negative side right over here. Come up, go along the rail. We'll probably hop up a little bit, go along the bottom of the panel here. And then the same thing will come around down into the box. A nice little bend. You're going to go there. Okay, over here. You're up here. We're on the side. So I got one more here. Okay, then you open up the ties on this over here, and we will follow this down how we need to, and we'll come up over here. I'm going to check the voltage on these real quick, make sure we're good to go. So I'm going to hook up the outer two. That one's connected. That one's connected. Yes, so we're sitting at 170.8 volts. Nice. Okay, so we're going to wire these into the IMO. It's going to be my positive. I'm going to disconnect that. Do a snip. Alrighty. These are all wired up. If you can see in there all right. We got solar coming in down here. We come around to the top side, and number 1 is going to connect with number 2 down here in the switch, and then same for the negative right here. It's going from 3 down to 4, okay? And then I also have my extra solar wires right here. I'm just going to leave those disconnected for right now. And one thing I will have to do later on is add my ground from here. That grounds up to the panel and the frame up here, which we'll do another time. It's too hot out here for this. So now what we need to do is we need to go over to this side and wire it into the breaker over there. All right, some plans have changed for this box right here for right now. Basically what I need to do is I need to take a negative from here and run it over to the other array, and then we're going to return. I had planned on using these little, I forget what they're called, like Dinkle connector thingies, but these ones are kind of small, and I'm gonna have to order some bigger ones because I don't really need this circuit breaker over here because I have the IMO disconnect on the other side. So my only other option to connect this array over to the other array is wire nut the solar panels together, or just use one of these until I get the bigger ones. So I think I'm gonna do that and just use a couple of these, or all of these, until the new ones arrive after I order them later today. So let me disconnect this array right here, which is done. That one is the negative, which is exactly what I need. So we will pop you out of here. Boom, perfect fit. Okay. I'm also gonna, did I say I was gonna remove this? I don't remember if I said that or not. I'm gonna be removing this breaker. I am gonna put this back in though. All right, I think I have everything hooked up, hopefully correctly. I do not have the surge suppressor hooked up right now. We'll have to do that another time because it's way too hot out here. But I put the cover back on for the disconnect over there and I turned it on, and we're gonna check for voltage right now. And the other side of this is not connected to anything, so don't worry. We're just connecting to make sure we're doing everything correctly, and look at that, we do have 341.5 volts. So all of this is wired correctly. Next thing we'll do real quick is we will connect it up to the inverter. So let's do that real quick. Open this up. Now again, this part is temporary because my inverter setup is going to change here pretty soon. So we're just temporarily putting these up through here. Everything's temporary, right? Okay, negative. Or positive. Negative. Okay. What we could look real quick is the output for the roof panels. So it's 248 right now. We have the dryer and air conditioning running right now, so we're drawing 10,000 watts and we're only inputting 3,700. Okay, that's just from the two roof arrays. Array 1, which is 24 panels, is doing 2,100 watts, and then array 2 is the sun-gold panels, and those are only doing 1,475 watts. Oh, look at it, it just went down, so we're only doing 3,300. Okay, I'm gonna go plug in the third array real quick, ground mount. All right, so now we're putting in 4,800. Again, it's gonna be cloudy out right now, of course, now that I'm done working out there. So on those panels right now, we're only getting 1,209 watts, which isn't very much. We're almost the same as the sun-gold power panels. So I'll let this go, obviously, and hopefully I can have some better numbers by the end of the day, or maybe by the end of tomorrow. Alrighty, it's actually a couple of weeks later. It's just been so hot and rainy and muggy and just terrible weather to go back outside and kind of finish the rest. So I haven't been out there to clean up the wiring or anything like that. I have not added my ground wires or anything like that, you know, from the panels to the frames and all that kind of stuff. And I actually didn't even order my Dinkle connectors. I did that last night, so I haven't been outside because it's just been so freaking hot, muggy, and or rainy. That's where we're at right now. I just didn't want to finish the video out without showing you any sort of, you know, production from the newly added 5S array, you know, so now it's a 10S. So anyway, we'll take a look at Solar Assist, and then we'll also take a look at the Lux Power app on the computer, and we'll just show you some rough numbers and stuff like that for at least the last 2 weeks in July. Today's date is actually the 9th of August. I don't know if I'm going to include the last week because it's probably just going to be about the same. So we're going to take a look at Solar Assist first, and just a reminder, this is on MPPT array number 3. I did have an array on there, which is on the roof. I just took it from 3 and added it or combined it to array 1 since the panels they're similar. They're just not identical. They're on the same part of the roof. They're almost the same panels. They're just slightly different. One's a 245 watt panel and the other one is a 270 watt panel. So I just combined those two arrays into one. So array 1 is now 24 panels and the new ground mount over there is array number 3. So anyway, we'll start with solar assist first, and we will start with the 18th of July. And we didn't get hardly anything. I think the max I saw in there was 610 watts. Moving on to the next day, which would be the 19th, I think we got up to roughly 2.2 kilowatt. The next day, which would be the 20th, we got up to, looks like 2.87 kilowatt. Next day was just the same as the 19th. We didn't get very much at all. This whole month of July has just been terrible. Just been real hot, real muggy, and we've had a lot of rain. So I just haven't gotten a whole lot out of here. But right here, it looks like we got 2.92 kilowatt. Next day we got up to, I saw a 3.13 in there, and then the next couple of days again are real crappy. And then if we go to the 27th, looks like we got up to 3.24 kilowatt, and it looks like we had a fairly good day of sun. There's a nice bell curve there. And then same thing for the 28th. We got up to 3.33. Yeah, it kind of looks like everything's at 3.33. I wonder, I know I've seen more than that. Let me adjust my day here. Looks like a good portion of the days are around 3.3 kilowatt is the max that we're seeing out of it. I know I've seen a 3.5. Maybe that's right over here. Okay, well, I'm not really sure. I know I've seen over, actually, I've seen over 4,000 watts coming out of this array, but if you want to take a look at the dashboard and what we're getting right now, we're inputting 11.1 thousand watts, and if we want to see live what this is, along with Horace right here, again, we're getting 3,393 watts out of those 10 panels, 339 watts out of each panel right now. But I have seen a lot more than that. Typically, I'll see around like 3,500 watts, so I'm not sure why it's only showing 3,300. But anyway, if we head over to the Lux Power app, this is going to be the month of July right here. So everything before the 17th is going to be the roof array that were, I don't even remember which panels they were, but it was on the roof. And then everything after the 18th is with the new ground array. Okay, so again, total for the 18th is going to be 2.1 kilowatts. So that's basically what we did the entire day. If you want to look right below down here, this gives you like hour by hour. So we got 2.6 was the highest there, 2.6. So that is 1 and 2 o'clock are my good times. All right, and then the next day would be 6.6 kilowatt, 12.2 kilowatt. If we go to that day, the highest I saw was 3.2 kilowatt coming in. 23rd, we got 14.9 kilowatt hour. I think I just said kilowatt earlier, but I meant kilowatt hour. If we click on the actual day, again, down here's the times. 1, 2, and 3 are my good hours of the day. 3,000 watts. 2.9, 2.7. If we go down a few more days to the 27th and the 28th, we made 16.4 kilowatt hour. That's basically what we have. Let me skip over to the next month real quick to August. Again, we're doing 10, 9, 5, 7, 13.5, and 15.2. It is a huge improvement than what I had before, because before I only had the 5 panels, and that was actually on a different inverter that I had mounted up over there, and I don't have any data from that. I guess mainly what I would see from that is roughly 1,700, basically 1,700 watts, a good portion of the day. So if we just add 5 more panels, we're at 3,400 watts, which is basically kind of what I'm seeing for the most part. Again, it's in the middle of summer. It's hotter than hot outside. Overall, I would say it's not too bad. I'm definitely excited. I am gonna need more solar panels out there because during these summer months, if I haven't mentioned it or you haven't heard it before, my house is not insulated worth of crap. So my air conditioning runs it runs a lot. Matter of fact, if we go over here and just look over the last 24 hours, okay? Everything in blue right here is gonna be my load. So this constant load of, 3 to 4,000 watts, that's gonna be my house load plus the air conditioning. Let's see, it looks like it shut off right around midnight and then just kicked on, all the time throughout the night. And then actually this morning, around, I think I got a message around 6 o'clock or so, we actually lost power. We had a really big storm roll through, and well, everybody else lost power. I didn't lose power, but yeah. So anyway, summertime here is hot and muggy, and my air conditioning just runs a crap ton. So yeah, alrighty, well there you go. It took me 3 days to get that done. Not 3 whole days, but 3 partial days to get that done. Basically like a day and a half because it was so freaking hot. I've been wanting to get that done for almost a year now. I drilled out or augered out the holes last fall and intended on installing this last fall, but time just gets away from you and you get busy. But anyway, I'm finally glad it's like 90% done. I still have to go out there and kind of tidy everything up, and then we can move on to the next project. Alrighty, well I think this video's gone on long enough, so I'm gonna call it right here. If this video was helpful in any way, make sure you like that smash button on your way out, and I'll see you on the and alright, there's my favorite song. Where are you at? Are you the El Camino? No, you're the Suburban that just drove by a minute ago. Perfect.